Hey, just hopping on to give you guys some information about business bank accounts and credit cards and kind of planning for the future, whether that be kind of retirement or savings accounts and things like that. So, just going to talk at you for a bit. All this information, of course, is on the OneDrive if you want to look at it in text or see different resources, but I'll try to comment things if there are specific resources to look up. First thing, though, is if you do have a formal LLC or corporation or anything like that, you're going to want to open up a separate business bank account. So that's going to be a checking and a savings account in the business's name. And in order to do that, you are going to need, proof of your business, your tax ID number, and all that. So keep that paperwork handy because you'll actually need to show that to the bank in order to open up the account and make sure it's not opened under like a personal thing. If you aren't going the route of having an LLC and are just kind of opening up shop and seeing a handful of clients, it still is recommended to have a separate checking and savings account. Of course, if you don't have a business, you're not going to be able to open it under a tax ID or anything like that. So you're just going to have to open it under your social and maybe just label them different things on your end so you can keep track of things. But the biggest thing with having separate checking and savings account for your business is it just makes things so much easier when it comes tax time, or when you're doing your monthly bookkeeping and looking at your expenses of what's coming in and what's coming out. A lot of people think, nope, I'll just do it out of my personal account and I'll just be able to go month to month and just look at my statements and divide it all up and do that. Totally can, but it doesn't usually end up being that easy, just because you just kind of forget how often maybe you use your card, or maybe sometimes you use your credit card and not your debit card, and you can lose track of expenses that way. So always just best practices to have separate checking and savings, whether they're under your business name or just another personal account that you can just keep everything separate. So everything that you're buying for your business goes through those accounts. Definitely when doing this and if opening business accounts, research different banks and see if there's one that doesn't charge like a maintenance fee per month. Usually credit unions don't charge this, or if you have a relationship with a bank already, they might be able to waive that fee for you. But a lot of the times with business accounts, there is like a $10 maintenance fee every month, which, sure, I guess you can expense that or write that off in a sense on your taxes, but it's just kind of an annoying thing. So I know a lot of people who just go with credit unions because they don't usually have that tacked on. Another thing to think about in regards to checking and savings accounts for your businesses, a lot of people navigate this differently, but some people like to have multiple savings accounts for their business, especially if they have goals for the future of maybe like getting their own office or opening up a group practice or buying a new couch or, something like that. But also sometimes people's brains just work better like this. I don't personally do this, but I do know people who literally have like 3 different savings accounts for their business. And one savings account, they just label like taxes. And so they know all the money in that account is specifically for, their quarterly or annual taxes for that year. So every month when they're doing expenses, automatically 30% goes into that account. The next saving account that they have, which is a whole separate account, is maybe for emergencies. And so they have their 6 months expenses and overhead costs in their saving for those emergencies that we hope to never run into, but maybe that some people did run into last year with COVID when some of our clients kind of jumped ship for a little bit before it ramped back up. It's good to have that emergency fund fully funded, definitely with 3 months to cover your expenses, but recommended to have 6 months in there. And then some other people just have like miscellaneous or other savings accounts again. Like if you're wanting to put away X amount each month because you know eventually you want to have your own office, or you want to buy a place, or you want to fund a retreat, or you know, whatever it is, kind of having other savings accounts for that. Of course, check with your bank if they're charging you for those accounts. Probably don't want to go that route and probably want to organize your systems a little bit different, but most of the time they're not charging for savings accounts. If they are going to charge, they're going to charge for your checking account. But that could just kind of be an organizational tip for those people that like to have those divvied out like that. That also can help in regard to money that you're putting away for retirement, because remember, if we are solely self-employed and plan to be self-employed for a long time, you don't have the backing of an agency or a full-time job back there paying you for your time off and saving for your retirement and your short and long-term disability and all those things. So that is some of the reason why some people choose to save part-time or full-time and get those benefits, because it is a helpful way to save for your future. But there's also other ways to plan for retirement. You know, if you're self-employed, of course, you can go to a financial advisor and get some insights and inputs there. A lot of the information out there is going to just inform you to make sure you have something set up. And even if you're putting $5 a month into it, because that's all you can give towards it, that is better than nothing. And it's really just starting the practice of being intentional about putting away for the future. So then hopefully when you are in a situation later or whenever where you can put a greater percentage of your income into those accounts for the future, that it's in there. And the practice is kind of already started of putting away each month, but maybe you're just ramping up how much you're putting away each month. I'll attach some resources to that if you want to get in touch with someone local in regard to like talking about your retirement accounts and stuff like that. And then I'll also attach my mom's information. She's based out of Atlanta, but she is a financial advisor with Raymond James. And of course, I think she's great for all sorts of reasons, but she can work with clients in Kentucky, and she can also just be a really good resource in regards to like, what are your options? Because of course we all have very different personal lives and finances going on outside of our practice. So there may be other things that are kind of funneling into the mix of how that factors into what we should be contributing to what account, and also like what actual retirement accounts we're allowed to have based on the money that we're bringing in, or our marital status, or whatever it may be. One thing to note with speaking to a financial advisor, just making sure they're not giving you like salesy vibes. They really should be there for like educational purposes and making sure that like you're as informed as possible on all the options, and then you being able to pick and choose what you want to do. Not so much someone who's a little bit more salesy or pushy in regards to like buy this or invest in this type thing, because sometimes those people kind of in those frameworks more so like work on commission or work in some type of way where they may not totally have your best interest in mind. They may have like a monthly quota they need to hit or something like that. But anyways, in summary, save for the future, save for emergencies, make sure you're having separate checking and savings accounts to make things easier for you or for your bookkeeper. And then another thing to note, credit cards. If you want to take out a business credit card, totally can, just like we can all take out credit cards for whatever you want to do personally. Do just note that it is a credit card, so you do have to pay it off. If you, of course, the advice around credit cards, if you do take it out, most people suggest to just treat it like a debit card. use it to pay your expenses and do your things, but pay it off every month, and don't build up interest on it. Sometimes business credit cards can have lots higher interest rates than a personal credit card, but there are, of course, benefits to having a credit card versus just paying everything out of a debit card, which is essentially just paying for things with cash, essentially, where different business cards can give you points, they can give you bonuses, they can give you kind of cash back and all sorts of things. So something to look into. Recommendation around that is if you have a pretty stable and healthy relationship with money personally and are able to make sure you're staying out of those high interest rates and debt personally on those credit cards. Usually it's suggested to have a business credit card just because you can get some of those perks. And again, if you're treating it like a debit card and paying it off every month, then it's not really doing any harm to you other than getting you some extra cash or some money and things like that. Of course, do your research around that. There's all sorts of things you'll get in the mail of sign up for this credit card and you get X amount of money and blah, 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 blah. Don't be taking out multiple business credit cards just to be getting all these perks. It still is a line of credit, and it is something that has the potential to do harm to your credit score and everything like that. So just be mindful of that. But per usual, let me know if you have any questions about anything. Love talking business, love connecting people to resources, and am here to chat with any of y'all if you need anything. Just a reminder, all of you, of course, are open to use my one-on-one consultation services. Everyone's first hour is free, and then every hour after that is 50% off my rate, which right now the rate is around $100. So for y'all, it would be $50 a session after that first free session. But that we do the monthly private practice consult group for free every month. It's all on the Facebook events. You can look over it. But those are great times to just pop in and chat business for an hour for free and kind of connect network-wise around business practices and whatever it may be. And like I said, always happy to help you guys meet your business goals, whatever they are. So, okay, well, let me know if you have any questions.